Our next part, as we take a look at the assembly, is going to involve creating or inserting, creating some relationships between some multiple moving parts. So I'm going to go ahead and insert other document, find my folder I'm working out of. We're going to bring in the connector. Okay, the connector will be brought in like this, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the green check mark. I'm going to, as I take a look at this particular part, I'm going to add another Revolute Mate in there. Now, as I look, I'm going to kind of rotate this around. I want one of these, so this cylinder in the middle is going to go right through these holes. So I'm going to choose this mate connector right here on the inside of the cylinder, so right there on that face, you can kind of see the little marker right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this back into isometric view, and I'm going to choose the outside of the hole right here. So you'll see there's a joint origin. When I click there, I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to hit the green check mark. This now ties in the connector, and very much like Inventor, Onshape or Fusion, they don't really have a case of like when you hit something else. There is a way to do that, but for right now, you should get some revolution, some movement there between those two parts, which is exactly what we want. Okay, the next thing while we've got this video up and running is I'm going to go ahead and bring in the shaft component. And this is going to be what it looks like. I'm going to place it kind of down here because it's going to be right inside of this component, and then this part is going to connect onto the connector. So in this case, I'm going to start off with, here's our new one, a slider mate. So when I click it, it's looking for what kinds of things. Since this is cylindrical, this one's going to be pretty easy. So I'm going to choose the middle of the cylinder. And then as I zoom in here, I get 3 possible selections. I'm going to choose the one in the middle. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the green check mark. This is what the slider does, is if I drag this in and out, it only stays within that particular cylinder. So there's that one. I'm going to go ahead and drag this out just a little bit more. And then the last thing I want to do is we're going to add in a Revolute Mate. And I'm going to pick, now if you have a little trouble, if you hold the shift key on your keyboard, that kind of keeps, from it trying to find other. You'll notice it only allows me to toggle these because I'm holding shift right now. And I'm going to choose the center mate connector. And then the same thing here. This is going to be a little bit difficult to see, but on your part, probably if I turn my angle here, I'm going to choose on this cylinder, I'm going to choose the middle mate connector there as well. When I do that, it's going to set that right in the middle. Now, the only thing is it's going to take a look. It's going to be like, wait a minute, it undid that mate. Not exactly. It's just going through and looking at applying that. I'm going to hit the green check mark. Now everything sets in well. If I click and drag, try to move it out, it won't go through and move. If I try to move the handle now, you can see that now we're getting some good motion there from that. So the mates or the joints that we're setting in there are going to be some good stuff to get some good motion that we have between the various parts and things like that. So that's really kind of, as we take a look, that's what we're going to end up doing. All right, another one here, we're going to go ahead and insert. So before I kind of finish out, we're going to insert the clamp component. And I'm going to go ahead and place that in there and hit the green check mark. I am going to go ahead and spin this around because what we're going to end up doing, and I'm going to move this clamp here in the position, is we're going to use the ball mate. So if I click on it, this creates a ball socket. So I'm going to end up choosing the spherical face on the inside of the clamp, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose the sphere on the end of that particular one there. So see how it kind of just snaps into place. And now if I hit the green check mark, you'll see what kind of motion it has. So which is exactly what we want. We want a little bit of a kind of a rotation to happen, and that's exactly what's going to end up doing as it goes along. So that's a desired motion. Let me close out of this mate constraint, but that's exactly what we have happen as we go along. All right, so that's kind of the the idea behind these assemblies. We're so close to being done, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to kind of look at this. The other component that we have not messed with yet, as I look in my folder, which is the last one, which will be the grip. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the grip as we put that in. And on the grip, we're going to end up finding the grip fits over the level, or the lever there, excuse me, and we're going to use the Fasten Mate. So the Fasten Mate allows me to go through and kind of see that. So here I'm going to kind of hover over, I'm going to kind of rotate this. Sometimes rotating really helps that. So I'm going to kind of hover over the rounded end of this, and I'm going to look at choosing the very center of that one. And there we go. And I'm going to do the same thing on the lever handle. So the rounded end that has the round or the fillet. Let me just kind of rotate this around. You'll see when you're on there, you'll have 3 different options. I'm going to choose the middle one here as well. The only thing is that as I take a look, it will go through and it'll have it fastened. And if I try to change these or reorient secondary axis, not quite working the way I want. So I may need to go through and kind of make some adjustments. So if I want to do that, I can always go over to the browser, right click, say delete. I can move that off of there. And maybe one of the best options would be, maybe I need to choose a new joint kind of origin. So as I take a look at those particular key parts. So I'm going to kind of zoom in here. Maybe I need to choose, here we go, get the inside face for the hole. And the one that I'm going to look for, maybe, so again, I'm going to try to get that back. Hold shift. This is kind of in my way. Here we go. There we are. So when I put my mouse on the inside, I'm going to kind of hold shift. That'll keep that from moving. So now it's just snapping to those points. I'm going to go up here and find up here in this rounded edge. I'm going to click that. And then on this face, on the outside, I'm going to find that rounded edge right there. Okay, that's going to go through and kind of, looks like that's looking better to what I'm wanting. I'm going to go ahead and hit the green check mark. Probably what's going to have happened is I might need to go through and make some adjustments. So let me right click and say on the Fasten Mate there, and let me go ahead and see if I can, there we go. So I can use this button down here, reorient second axis, and that goes through and fits onto our lever. So there's a little bit of editing you can do, and that's, there is our assembly in Onshape. So we have our clamp. We've got some motion, some movement now, which is really cool. And that's kind of a preview of what are some of the different mates that are available for you to complete some assemblies. So hope you enjoy it, and hopefully this will help you with creating your assembly for your assignment.